filters out reality. It filters out what is happening in front of you. And what it does is it just triggers whatever your emotional brain was. When I said, look, we need to talk, that was it. Look, we need to talk. That was it. Because last time she heard, look, we need to talk, her whole life, when she's heard, look, we need to talk, or anything along that flavor, it means someone's going to leave her.
Exactly. You know, this thing you just said right now. No, continue. It seems to not finish.
So then that really goes back to, so what do you do? So what do you do then when that's happening for somebody? And what I did for my patients and what I do for my patients is we need to quickly look at that together. We need to quickly look at what happened there together, you know? And you need to say, you need to be able to, wait, what just happened there? Because I said, I want to be with you, and I'm trying to resolve something so I can be with you, but what your mind is hearing is that I want to go away. Did I do anything to show you that I want to go away? Yeah, you said look. Yeah, but I also said other things, right? But there's something about the idea of look. Can we look at that together? The idea that I say, look, we need to talk. Where does that come from? And then the patient says, oh, it actually maybe comes from my dad, because that's, I remember like him saying, look, we need to talk, and then he always used to get violent and then sort of leave. Oh, so now we're starting to understand that this is her mind, not our relationship. This is her mind, her past mind, her childhood that's doing this to her in this moment. So that is my best advice. When someone is filtering as a professional or a friend, we need to help them see what's happening through asking them why is, or what part of their mind, why is missing out on important pieces of information, so that they can link that back to what happens for them as opposed to the other person. One of the most important things we need to do is stop looking at other people and start looking at ourselves.
True, very true, very true. And like what I wanted to say the other time was, you know, that featuring, it's so funny that you tell somebody, okay, for example, I and a friend of mine were talking, and she talked about, she's a lady, so she talked about, you know, staying in a parent's house, you know, over a year. You know, most ladies, they stay in their parents' house till they get married. So it's not normal for someone that is not married or not ready to just go out and stay on his own. The parents most likely feel like you're going wayward, you're going on an angle that they don't want. So she was talking about staying back home. I was like, it's okay for you to stay back home, at least you're a lady. And she went off. So she was just shouting. I was like, calm down. What did you hear me say? I said, she was a lady. I said, no. Did you understand what I was trying to say when I meant you are a lady? She said, I meant, she now gave me a definition of what she heard. I was like, no, that was not what I was trying to say. So calm down, and this was what I was trying to say. And it happens most times, you know, people, they complain. We were having an argument one day, on Monday, with two of my friends. They were shouting. They were shouting. I was like, okay, calm down. I know, for me, I understood that we are all having perspective differences. So I had to ask him, okay, what are you complaining about? Okay, there was someone insulted another person. So I was of the opinion that the words were not really good per se. But what the person was hearing was, I said he shouldn't have insulted the other person. So I had to draw their attention to, no, I said the words. The person needed the insult, but the words, not the insult. Now the word. Say, oh, that was what you mean. I said, yes. So the full 45 minutes we have been screaming and shouting. And I've been telling you, I said, and I asked him, you remember I was telling you that allow me finish. You just conclude because I've not gotten to the end. Just because I said I am going to. They're like, yes, I know that. You said, I said, no, calm down. Allow me finish. The story is not finished. It's still on. Allow me finish. And, you know, that's what happens most times.
Yeah,
They
I think
just filter. They just
sometimes we say some really hurtful things, and sometimes we say some really judgmental things, and sometimes we say some really nasty things, and it's hard for us to realize that we've said those really hurtful, harmful things, and sometimes we're being told really harmful things with the subtext of other words. You know, sometimes someone really takes a jab at us or a stab at us, and they don't want it to sound like that. You know, that whole idea of, hey, you're really pretty, but you know, it seems like you put on some weight, and we don't really know how to take it. You know, you give me a compliment or you say something bad to me, I don't know how to take it. This is a different person, right? But I think in general, what prevents people from being able to hear each other out is because of the hurtful material, whether we perceive the material to be hurtful or whether it actually was hurtful material, if you will. But it's hard to hear a person out when we're already overloaded and already overwhelmed with the amount of information or the amount of hurt that we're experiencing from the information that comes out. So if you have a partner, or you yourself are the kind of person who tends to get overwhelmed and, you know, just like, there needs to be no more new material for that moment. For that moment, you can just stay on that material, you know, stay on understanding whatever was said before you move on to any new material. And that's the only really big advice that I have to prevent further spiraling out. You know, if you say to somebody, can you please turn off the light? I really want to sleep and I'm really tired. And what they hear you say is, you are a scumbag for staying up late, and you hate me and you don't respect me. But that's what they hear you say. You gotta stay on that. You know, you gotta not introduce anything more, not go to past hurts, future hurts. You always do this and you've always done that and you were like this with them, and you just need to stay on that as a topic and understand that. And if you have a partner who tends to get overwhelmed, I'd say rather than trying to justify what you said, because it's clear what you've said, you know, tape yourself, you said it, right? That's dumb. But try to understand why your partner thinks that if you ask to turn off the light, that means that they are scum. Try to understand that, right? And we can do that, and we can say things like, I know what I said. I know what I said, and what I thought that I said was turn off the light, but it doesn't matter. What you heard me say, that's what matters. What you heard me say was that you're a scumbag, yeah? Why would I think that you're a scumbag? Why do you think that I think that you are scum? Why do you think that? Right? That's what matters. That's where the conversation needs to go. No, but you hate me. Okay, I think I love you. So I want to understand. Why do you think I hate you? Right? Why do you think me asking you to light means that I hate you? I want to understand that. Let's understand that bit. Let's just talk about that. Because to me, it was just a light. But to you, that light that's a symbol of me hating you. And I don't want that to sit between us. I don't want lights to sit between us, our love versus hate. Let's understand that bit. Let's work on that. Let's talk about that. No, but you're always like this and that. You're always never paying attention to me. Oh, I get it. So this light becomes a symbol of the fact that I tend to ignore you. I tend to ignore you, I tend to be away, I tend to always have time for my friends, and I tend to not have that kind of time for you. So this light becomes a symbol that I have some criticism that I harbor towards you. Is that right? Yes. Okay. So it's not just a light. It's not just a light. It's a symbol of a hurt that sits between us. Let's talk about that. Let's see if my actions are true. Let's see now why I do those things. Now that we know that you are hurt by my absence, let's talk about my absence. Is my absence pathological? Is there a reason for my absence? Do I feel the need to distance myself from you, or is it about something else? You know, is
okay,
it?
that's really interesting. So in just 3 points that would want to advise someone that's ambivalent, someone that's dismissive, what are the 3 advice you would want to give to each of them? And if they find themselves in this triangle of, you know, that push and pull, the addict, the avoidant,
Right.
what advice would you give to them?
So for my first advice is, if you think it's happening, it's happening. All right? So that's it. A lot of people have doubt. Is it happening? Am I being pushed? If you think it's happening, it's happening. All right? That's advice number 1. Number 2, be curious in yourself. And number 3, be curious about your partner. Don't filter. Don't make assumptions. Don't judge. Don't jump ahead. Be genuinely curious. Go with them. When they have thoughts, when they have ideas, behaviors, go with them. Examine it all. Be curious about it. Ask about it. Ask until they cannot want to talk about it, until they fail talking about that anymore, until they are done talking about it, until the two of you understand it so much, until you understand it so much that you never even want to talk about it. It's boring to you now because you understand it that well. Do that first of all for you, and then do that for your partner. Be curious, be curious, be curious. Curiosity cures humanity from most of our psychological ailments. Curiosity first and foremost. Curiosity about ourselves, curiosity about our partners, curiosity about things that happen. Be curious, ask, wonder, don't defend, don't push away, don't push, ask, wonder. Someone might come to me and say, hey, you know, you can be quite obnoxious. I could say, really? What do you mean obnoxious? I'm a psychologist. Didn't you know that I'll never be obnoxious? I could never be obnoxious, right? Being a bit obnoxious, as they ironically a bit obnoxious, right? Or I could say, all right, what is it about that? So many of my patients say that to me. The moment they sit down and I ask, what do you want to work on here with me today? The moment I ask that, and they've never met me before, many of my patients say, I don't know. They pull back and I say, oh, what happened there? They say, oh, you seem judgmental. I have two choices. I have a choice to say, oh, I'm not judgmental. What are you saying? Can you see my license? I'm called a doctor. Whatever. What about me is it that seems judgmental to you? Sometimes I get you have black hair. Sometimes I get you have dark skin. Sometimes I get you have a beard. Sometimes I get your eyebrows go like this. You know? Look at that. So we look at that. What about a beard is it that says that I'm judging you? Well, men who have beards tend to judge. Okay? Is there anyone else with a beard in your life that tended to judge you? Yes, my father. Okay. My husband. Okay. My partner. Okay. Right? So could it be that some part of you thinks that then men who have beards judge you, then that part of you sort of attaches to my beard? See, I'm being curious. I'm asking questions. We need to understand what happens. Once you can understand, you and your partner can go through hell together, but you'll be together.
Curious. So they should be curious of themselves and their partner.
Curiosity.
You want to understand.
Curiosity.
Someone said.
To understand you and to want to understand your partner. If you can want to understand and not let your heart overwhelm you, your avoidant overwhelm you, your attachment overwhelm you, just try to understand. So many people who should be together and can be together and would be healthy together would be together if they were trying to understand. And so many people who are hurt by being together and should not be together and will just perpetuate harm by being together would not be together if they were just trying to understand.
You know, I say this a lot in understanding. You know, most times it's, you feel, how would I put it? You get the wisdom of what we're talking about. You know you're an anxious person. You know this other person might be dismissive per se, but the understanding of the reason why they do it. So when you understand, when you say this, they hear another thing, you know, so you want to try to understand. You want to say, okay, like you said, okay, when I said this was what I meant. So what did you think I was trying to say? So you said, oh no, it wasn't what you were trying to say, I was trying to say. I understand that you want to acknowledge, so meaning you want them to acknowledge the other person's feeling because they have their feeling. It's their feeling. I can't tell you, you tell me that I'm judgmental. I can't say, no, I'm not judgmental. No, there must be something I did that triggered something in you that made you feel that way.
Exactly.
So I need to first of all.
It doesn't matter if you're not judgmental. What matters is their mind sees judgment. That's what matters. That's what we need to be curious about.
Yes, so that means, so now this is tell those that are going to watch later or those that are online now that, the final of everything, because if you leave the both of us, we'll continue. We might digress from here. We might digress from here. We almost digressed somehow just now. So the bottom line is you need to be curious about your partner. You need to try to understand them. You need to try to understand yourself. And
First, understand
people,
yourself. First, understand yourself. Then you need to understand your partner. You need to
yeah,
understand you first.
yeah. So understand yourself first, then understand your partner or your partner to be, or those that are coming around, and question the reason why certain people give you that feeling. You
Absolutely.
felt that way.
Question,
You felt
question.
that way.
Look, attachments don't want you to question. They want you to do. They want you to feel. They want you to act. They don't want to be seen. I have a post that says, anxious and ambivalent and disorganized attachments want to be unseen, unheard, unfelt, unknown. They want to be in the shadows, operate from the shadows. Bring them into the light. Have a look at them. Once you look at them, they can't function anymore. They stop functioning. They are like shadow itself. When you shine light on them, they stop being shadow. They can't do it. They need to be just beyond the light, just want something. And when you start looking at them, they don't operate. They cannot operate. So curiosity is thinking. Curiosity is the cure to all. It's the beginning to the journey that is the cure to all anxious and attachments. We first have to be very curious. Once we're curious, that is the intent of any journey done. The rest is just is just a beautiful, harmful, no, sorry, not harmful, beautiful, hurtful, painful existence that we all live in. It's called life, but at least it's development.
Uh-oh. Someone is writing a
I want to
question.
ask you a question before. Chemistry is actually caused from attachment style. Does that mean that secure people don't experience chemistry with each other? Yes, they do. They also experience chemistry with each other, but they experience that their attachment styles click. So with secure people tend to want to be with secure people. So that's what brings butterflies in their stomach, if you will. So I hope that that answers your
Oh,
question about that. So
definitely.
butterflies. The butterflies is a nice experience or whatever, but we can't chase butterflies because it's unreliable. The butterflies are true sometimes, they are liars sometimes. So as adults, we try not to follow butterflies.
So being curious and conscious about yourself and about your partner, about your soon-to-be partner, noticing those patterns would help you to know which is serious, which is secure, which is just your shadow attachment trying to play tricks on you. You
Yeah,
know, that gives you that.
yeah. And I like that word you put together there. Shadow attachments. Let's call them that. That's what they are. They're shadow attachments. They're not in the clear. They're not in the obvious. You don't see them. They're not lying around. We have to be curious to see them. We have to turn around and go look. And we can't turn around completely because then your shadow is down on that side. You have to just turn your head towards something that lies. And go, what is that? What is that thing that keeps following me around?
And that is very true. Just before we just conclude, I noticed that recently when I started working on myself after my CBT course, I began to question every thought that comes through my head. So when maybe I'm trying to contact somebody and they withdraw, normal before, like, okay, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have sent this message. But now I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. It's okay if they don't respond. It's not about me, it's about them. So it's always about them, never about me. I know I'm not perfect, but like I told someone, they'll be like, why do all these people keep coming around? I'm like, see, when you have a car stand and maybe you sell a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon and you have maybe a Toyota Camry, for example, the ones that would come, your market is going to sell. That of the Benz, the price is different from that of the Toyota. So you are definitely sure that even though 100 people comes in and they don't buy your G-Wagon, the ones that are meant to buy it will definitely come. So it doesn't matter those that overrun, that doesn't meet your requirement, that doesn't fill your tank, that doesn't give you that doesn't understand your words, per se. So you know that, but first of all, you need to know yourself. That comes back to being curious about yourself. What am I? Who am I? What am I capable of? What do I do under these circumstances? Put everything under the microscope. That this is me. I'm accepting myself for who I am. And people don't do that a lot. They don't want to forgive themselves. They rather forgive you for misbehaving than forgive themselves. You want to accept yourself for who you are, and go out there. Not everyone will like you. Everybody will not like you. You just have, it's a fact. Everyone will not like you. Just accept that, okay, this is me. As long as it aligns with who you are. Some people don't like iPhone. Some would kill themselves over Samsung. But it doesn't change the price of iPhone. It doesn't change the price of Samsung. Their prices are still there. They are not bothered about those that don't like them. They have their different experiences. Fine, you want this other person that gives you that experience, it's okay. But I have to stick with who I am, And we should question your feelings a lot. Mostly when you know you're not insecure. Mostly when you know you're an insecure person, question your feelings a lot. And be curious, because we need to come to a close, because we're going to continue. Be curious about yourself. You just want to be curious about yourself. Check yourself under the microscope. Your partner, they will always tell you, the people you meet will always tell you who they are from the beginning, and they are consistent with it. When they are consistent with it, be consistent with yourself and pack your bags and go. You cannot change anybody until they decide, like you said, until they decide they want to change. You can never. You're going to be there, having this push and pull. You pursue. Oh, they're coming. They're going to, maybe let me do more. If I do this, maybe they'll come. But it doesn't work. So, it doesn't work. So for everyone, that's our conclusion. I don't know, maybe you have something to just conclude with it.
No, I think you summed it up really nicely, and I think we have a really good chemistry, if you will. We have our attachments are aligning here, so we could possibly go forever. We got a bit of bromance here. Someone's got to cut the cord. So yeah, let's cut it hard before we end up talking till morning. So no, thank you. Look, Benjamin, thank you so much for having me. This is technically your live, but now it's on my live. So thank you for anybody who's watching it, and hopefully we can get the technology going and I can come and be on your live again next time. But thank you for hosting me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for asking such interesting questions. I hope that anyone who watches this checks your page out. Anyone who's nearby and wants to do some work with you, I hope that they do. And, I wish you all the best and all the luck in the future. Let's stay in touch. Let's check things out. I'll keep posting. I'll keep obviously checking out your posts and that, and let's see if we can collaborate again in the future. Let's see what the community feedback is about this. And then, we'll take it from there, all right?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to collaborate again. We'll talk about that, because there's so much to talk about. When I met you the first time, I was like, let's talk about attachment. And you're like, we can talk about that for a whole week, and and we'll not be exhausted.
And we can spend almost 2 hours talking about it now, so yeah.
So, for those that came from my side of the page, you need to check my friend out. He has great posts. I enjoy his posts so much. So it is nice collaborating with you. It's so nice, We need to just. I'll try to share them on my page. You saved the other one, right?
Yeah. So basically, what happened with the first one there, Benjamin, is that it didn't allow me to download. I think it exceeded something, so I could just post it to IGTV. I'll see if I can download this one. If it doesn't let me download, then I'll just post it to the IGTV, and then you can always put it as a story. But people will just have to watch it on my page, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'll try to download it. I'll try to download it and upload it.
Yeah, you try to. I mean, and you can always, another thing you can always do. There's this program where you can play it. on IGTV, and then you can record it from your phone. I used to do that every
Yeah,
time.
okay.
Every time it fails, and it's for us, has failed me many times before. I just record it off my phone and then I post it. You just need a very quiet place, and then you can be able to do that.
Okay, no problem. I saw what I can do about it.
Okay.
So for everyone, let's take care and see you another time when we come to collaborate.
Alrighty. You take
Okay,
care.
bye.
Bye bye everyone. Bye.
Okay.